Hi, my name is Miriam and welcome. Today we are preparing sauteed eggplants. Of course, we are going to use the dried eggplant instead of the fresh one. The recipe takes mushrooms, but I don't have mushrooms, so I thought let me try and use the substitute for mushroom because eggplants and mushrooms, they kind of have the same texture. Right, so this is what we're gonna do, what we're gonna be preparing today. We eat with our meal for tomorrow, right? Yeah, so here is what we're gonna need for now. We have 3 tomatoes, 2 medium and 1 small. We have 1 smaller green pepper. We have onion, 1 big onion. Then we also have the eggplant themselves. I dried this one. Okay, and then we have 2 stalks, which is 1 for celery and 1 for the leek. Okay, so this is, I'm going to show you now what we're going to be doing. We need to start preparing the onion, the tomatoes, and the green pepper, as well as that. But this one we'll put them the last when we are almost done. Okay, of course I'm going to add also my onion powder. Okay, this is my homemade onion powder. I'm going to add also to it, but that will be later. And I'm also going to add garlic powder just for flavor. Yeah, and of course my favorite cayenne pepper at the end when you're dishing and serving, right? Because we don't have to cook cayenne pepper, and neither do we have to cook this, just to sprinkle when we are done. Okay, so for now let's get cutting. Let me just quickly get the plate where I'll transfer everything. All right, let me wash my celery. They are not washed. The rest of the things, they are washed. Okay, so here we have got our vegetables. So we'll start with this one. Okay. Okay, for this one I prefer the big, not so big pieces, but yeah, somewhere like the slices. Of course, this one you can serve it with rice or any other dish that you want to serve it with. Yeah. Okay, so we just need to remove this, which is not nice. Okay, so this one is too big. Okay. Okay, so we already have our cooking oil in the pan. It's not yet heated. I'm going to heat it now as I'm preparing this. Okay, I'm going to use all of my onion. Okay, just to make sure that they're not so much of a bigger chunks. Okay, so we have our onion there. We're also going to cut our pepper, but let me put my onion, my pan, so that it can start warming up. My pan is already on the stove, so that it can start warming up. Okay, normally I remove my seeds because these are coming from my backyard green pepper. Right, so I remove the seeds because I want to preserve the seeds for future planting. Right, okay. All right, so this is what we are going to do. So yeah, like I said, whichever method that you may like. So far with what I've shared, you can do that. I can hear my pan is almost getting ready. Yep. Okay. Right, so I'm going to put this in the pan and then reduce the heat. we are going to put this here. Okay. Now we are going to go back on our chopping board. So I'm going to now start cutting my celery. Okay. Make it transparent. So just good enough. Remember, don't allow your onion to burn. So I need to be checking. I reduce the heat so that in the meantime my onion doesn't burn while I'm doing something. Okay. Okay, so yeah. So that is our celery, and we chop it nicely. Because this one we are going to eat it. It's not like when we are doing the broth where we will not use it. Okay, now we are done with cutting our onion, our celery, and also our leek. Okay, so we'll add the tomatoes to the onion that we have been stir frying. See how this looks like our onion is translucent. Let's say it's translucent where you can see like, yeah, almost there. So we are going to put our tomatoes. Remember, we have reduced our heat. So now we are going to increase our heat a little bit because the tomatoes, they are going to make water. Okay, so we are going to allow the tomato to release water before we can add our eggplant. When we see it's only little water, then we are going to add our eggplant. Okay. Okay, so for now I've increased the heat to the highest, which is number 6. So for now, let me show you what we do with our dried eggplant. So yeah. So you can actually see they are dry, so they can break. Okay. Alright, so I'm just going to break them a bit. Or you can leave them as huge chunks a little bit, depending on what you want. So, but I want them a bit smaller, not so small again, just, yeah, average size, I'll say. Okay, so remember we already put salt in our veggies which are on the stove. Yes, so since the texture they're a little bit more dry, we will put them shortly now, a few minutes to the tomatoes, so that they allow this to be soft and ready for the time when we serve them. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to put all of it. Okay, so as we prepare for the Sabbath, we prepare something special. Remember, we are reminded to say the Sabbath should be made a special day, a day that our children should look forward to. You say when the Sabbath comes, they say, wow, this is the day that we get to eat special things, right? Yeah. So we are trying to make it a delight so that the kids, they look forward to it. Now, I'm going to go back to my pot and check again and see if it's almost there. If not, we'll allow it to, to simmer a little bit while it's there. Okay, so you can see how it looks now. The tomatoes, they are releasing their water. So now I'm going to add my eggplant so that they can soften in the process because they are dry, right? So we are going to add our eggplant. So remember, we cleaned our eggplant long time when we were frying them, so don't have to worry. So now you can see they look like more of mushrooms. So we are going to saute them for a few minutes to allow them to soften. One can decide to cover, but I don't want to cover them because they tend to form a lot of water. So I will just continue sauteing them like this without covering them, and I believe they'll be soft. Okay. So for now, we let it for a few minutes as we continue to, and when they are ready, we will show you how it looks like. It looks like, yeah, the eggplant are now soft, so I'm going to add my vegetables. This is the leek and the celery. Okay, just enough for the colors. We don't want it to dominate, and yeah, okay, because we want the full nutrients from these greens. We are just going to sear it a little bit, 1 or 2, then we are going to save. Okay, so you can see now it looks like meatish kind of, you know, and from the distance it can look like mushrooms. Yeah, just to give me a bit of green color. Okay, I'm also going to add my onion powder now, just for the flavor. Remember, I reduced already the flame. Okay, this is my garlic powder. So I'm going to put my onion powder. I think I showed you before, just enough for the flavor. The onion powder. Okay, that should do. I'm also going to put my garlic powder as well. Just a little bit, just for flavor, but these are optional if you don't want them. Okay. Okay, then we are done. We are serving now. We are done. Wow, the thing is still ready. That's how we want it to be. Okay, so this is my final plate. This is the final dish that we have. We are done with the eggplants, and they taste good. Actually, they smell like those dry golden fish, the small one that we normally buy home. We call it carpenter. So that's how they smell, and they taste also so good. So yeah, you can try it at home, and then you can also share with us how yours came out. Yeah, we'll be delighted to hear from you. Bye bye for now.